Well, folks, the time that we were concerned would come and all of us thought would inevitably come has arrived. This afternoon, the governor announced that there's a ban on assemblies of 50 or more people, and the CDC, the federal agency that's dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak, has recommended that there be no assemblies over 10 people. Now, that would have been a challenge 10 years ago, and that's not to say that this isn't a challenge, okay? It's still a difficult situation to be in as a congregation, but the advances in technology have been so great in the last decade that we have an opportunity to continue to worship using technology. It may be a little different than some of the other congregations around that are doing it, but I want to explain to you what we're going to do. So since the ban on assemblies right now is going to run until April 3rd, which takes us to the Friday before Palm Sunday, we are going to have a hard time putting together a whole service for Easter in terms of music and things like that. Now, we're going to still have, hopefully, an Easter service. We're going to pray and work in such a way that hopefully, prayerfully, the ban will be lifted and we can have our Easter service without any challenges. But in the meantime, in the Sundays between then and now, next Sunday, March the 22nd, the following Sunday, March the 29th, and then probably April 5th. We're hoping the ban will be lifted, but there's no guarantee on that particular category. We are going to be running our services online using a service called Zoom. Now, the web address for Zoom is zoom, ZOOM.us. We're going to pay for this service. It's not expensive. It's about $15 a month. And what it does is it's a video conference call technology. So what you're going to be able to do from your computer is to go and download the Zoom client to your computer, Mac, PC, doesn't matter. Or to your smartphone. You can put it on the smartphone. And on Sunday morning, we will, on Friday, when we send out the newsletter, or Saturday, we will send out a link to that morning's worship service. Now, we'll also post it on the website, but we will not be posting it on social media, just because this is not something that we necessarily want to advertise because it has a limit. We're limited to 100 participants on this. But we will send it out, and what we will do is we will have a video conference service. Now, the great thing about Zoom is maybe you don't have a computer that's capable of doing this. You can just call in. There'll be a phone number. You can call in and just listen to the audio. So our services are going to be on Zoom, which is a pretty interesting platform. Now, beside that, what we're going to encourage you to do, if you can, is to run out to the store and grab some matzah or crackers, unleavened bread, and some grape juice, and be prepared to do communion together with the corporate body during the worship service. We're going to take that, we're going to observe communion together, we're going to have songs, and because it's going to be a video conference, we're going to be able to share prayer requests and needs as part of our worship together. So we'll be able to even have some conversations, some back and forth, have some other folks leading different elements of the worship service. So it's a great piece of technology. I've used it, I'm familiar with it, so we're excited about that. There's actually three things I wanted to talk about: our worship service, our ministries, and then I'll talk about giving at the end. We want our ministries to continue, but obviously we have to be aware of the assembly requirements. The CDC has recommended that there be no gatherings over 10. Now, we're gonna leave that up to the small group leaders on whether they host a Bible study. Some of the Bible studies are very small. Mine is under 10 people, so we'll kind of work that out. We'll figure it out how we can do it. We are going to basically shut down all of our other facility-based ministries for the time being that we don't need to run right now. So youth group, our children's ministry, obviously we won't be running that because we'll be doing our messages via video conference. But our outreach ministries, particularly our ministry to those who maybe can't get out and get to the restaurants, which we're working on, or get to the grocery store, we're working on ramping up our capacity for that through the elders, small group leaders, and Eric and Janet Wittenberg. Eric is our outreach coordinator. He's working on a plan to make that happen. The last thing I want to talk about is giving. You guys are all such faithful stewards, and you take your responsibility of giving so seriously. So we have a couple of different options for giving while we're not having physical services. Obviously, you can drop a check in the mail, which is fine. We pick up the mail, we bring it in, we'll get it counted. We also have ramped up an online giving platform on the website. Now, I'm going to be honest about the online giving platform. It's very convenient, but there are fees associated with it. Now, they're not a lot. They're very small fees. They're very reasonable fees. But we would say, you know, if you'd rather that 100% of your gift, your offering, go directly to the church rather than paying the fees for a handling service like that, to use your bank's bill pay system and have a check issued that way. Go on the website, Bedford Road Baptist Church, enter your amount, the address, and kick it. And send it to P.O. Box 443, Merrimack, New Hampshire. So you get those three options. You can just write a physical check, drop it in the mail. You could do your online payment on the website, bedfordroad.org, or you could have your online billing service send the check from you. We're challenged by this phase in our lives as a congregation. I've had a lot of people ask me about the government rules and all of those things. The scriptures speak that even that if we disagree with the government, we should respect those who have the power over us. Romans 13 talks about that. But ultimately, when it comes down to it, a temporary suspension, a temporary ban on gatherings doesn't rise to the threshold of something that opposes the gospel. We can leverage technology like this and we can make it work. It may not be ideal. I know you want to see your friends and family. You want to connect with them. You want to shake hands. You want to hug. You want to cry together. You want to pray together. And we will have that opportunity again soon, prayerfully sooner rather than later. But in the meantime, let's leverage this technology. Let's gather together online. Let's make this happen and celebrate Christ together as we go through this difficult time.